The silent psychology trick to gain instant respect. Some people walk into a room and instantly get respect. They don't speak louder. They don't show attitude. They don't try to impress anyone. Yet somehow, people listen to them. People hesitate before interrupting them. People take them seriously without knowing why. They're not powerful. They're not famous. And most of the time, they're doing almost nothing. Your brain reacts to them automatically. In psychology, this is called a silent signal. A signal so subtle that people feel respect before they think. Most people will never notice it, but once you see it, you'll start spotting it everywhere. In leaders, confident, introverts, even strangers. And no, it's not body language you already know. It's not eye contact. It's not posture. Your brain makes a decision about a person before they finish their first sentence. Not because you're rude, not because you're shallow, but because your brain is lazy. Psychology calls this thin slicing. Your mind takes tiny pieces of information and builds a full story in seconds. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't respect confidence. They respect certainty. And certainty has nothing to do with how much you talk. In fact, the more someone explains themselves, the less authority their brain signals. That's why people who overjustify sound weaker. People who rush to fill silence lose control. People who try to be liked get ignored. Your brain reads all of this as, even they don't trust themselves. And once that signal is sent, respect drops instantly, without anyone realizing why. But here's the twist. There's one silent behavior that flips this signal completely. A behavior that tells the brain, this person doesn't need approval. Almost no one uses it, because it feels unnatural at first. Silence makes most people uncomfortable. Not because silence is awkward, but because silence creates pressure. Your brain is wired to resolve tension. When nothing is happening, the mind rushes to fill the gap. That's why people talk too much in meetings, explain things nobody asked for, nervously laugh, agree too fast. And here's what psychology says. The person who breaks the silence first loses power. Not socially, not emotionally, psychologically. Because the brain reads silence as, I'm in control. I don't need to rush. Now notice this pattern in real life. Leaders pause before speaking. Confident people respond slower. Powerful individuals let moments breathe. They're not thinking harder. They're letting your brain work for them. When you rush to speak, you signal uncertainty. When you stay calm in silence, others start adjusting to you. But here's where most people mess up. They think silence means being quiet all the time. That's wrong. There's a specific moment where silence becomes a weapon, and everywhere else, it does nothing. Here's where most people use silence wrong, and accidentally make themselves look weak. They stay silent when they're supposed to respond. They freeze, they avoid, they disappear. That's not power, that's fear. Psychology makes a sharp distinction. Powerful silence is chosen. Weak silence is accidental. The brain can tell the difference. If silence comes from confusion or anxiety, people feel uncomfortable for you. But when silence comes from deliberate control, people feel uncomfortable around you. That difference changes everything. There's one exact moment where this works like magic, right after someone finishes speaking. Not before, not during, not randomly. That brief pause, just 1 or 2 seconds, forces the other person's brain to reevaluate you. Their thoughts go like this. Why aren't they rushing? Are they thinking, do they know something I don't? And without realizing it, they start assigning authority to you. But here's the catch. If you don't pair this pause with the right follow-up, the effect dies instantly. That pause you create, it does something dangerous. It raises expectations. The other person's brain thinks, okay, something important is coming. And this is where most people ruin everything. They pause, then over-explain. The moment you start justifying, rambling, or softening your words, the authority you built collapses. Because psychology follows one brutal rule, short certainty beats long explanations. After the pause, your brain must deliver a clean signal. Not louder, not smarter, just clearer. The people who earn instant respect do this. They speak fewer words. They state, not convince. They end sentences, not trails. And here's the part nobody tells you. Respect doesn't come from what you say. It comes from how much you feel you don't need to say. There is one exact micro-behavior that locks this respect permanently. It takes less than 3 seconds to do. It feels uncomfortable the first time. And once you use it, people start reacting differently without knowing why. Here's the silent psychology trick that creates instant respect. After someone finishes speaking, pause for 1 or 2 seconds, then respond with a short, calm, complete sentence, and stop. That's it. No rushing, no explaining, no soft endings like, I think, maybe, just, if that's okay. Why this works. That pause tells the brain, I choose when to speak. The short sentence tells the brain, I trust my words. Stopping tells the brain, I don't need approval. Together, these three signals create authority. Example, someone says, can you do this today? You pause. You breathe. You say, yes, I'll have it done by evening. Then you stop. No extra words. Or if the answer is no, I can't today. Tomorrow morning works. Stop. Notice something. You didn't explain why, and the brain didn't ask. This works because respect isn't demanded. It's felt. Use this in conversations, meetings, family discussions, even casual talks. At first, the silence will feel loud. That's normal. But once you get comfortable with it, people start adjusting their tone to you. Not because you changed who you are, but because you changed the signal you send. That's the silent psychology trick. Use it once, and you'll notice the difference immediately. Real respect doesn't come from being louder, smarter, or more aggressive. It comes from the signals you send when you're not trying to send any. Once you understand this, you stop forcing reactions, and people start responding differently on their own. Use the silence. Choose your words. End them cleanly. And notice how the room adjusts to you. If this changed the way you think, sit with it for a moment. Because the strongest shifts in psychology are the ones that feel quiet, but change everything. Now listen carefully. Psychology Decode is not normal channel on the YouTube. It's a channel that changes how you think. Subscribe now or stay same forever. Choice is yours.